Hello friends, trace amounts of science. Welcome back to ReddX. I think I got that backwards. Today we are visiting r/NotHowGuysWork to learn not how guys work. I'm allegedly a man, so I might have some things to say, as I usually do. Thanks so much for being here. We'll go ahead, hop on into the thing, why not? 10 rules for my GFs. Respect TikTok guidelines and don't violate the guidelines. The TikTok guidelines are your 10 rules. He's got some guidelines too, doesn't he? 5'6" or below. Isn't too confident and self-secure. Damn, dude. Tell me that you are insecure without telling me. That's a fucking wild way to go. Yeah, you can't like yourself too much, or else. Willingly will cook, no male friends. Jesus, dude. It's like the just immediate list of red flags. Can we find anything on here to agree with? Will not backtalk during disagreements. Yeah, just let me be right. 18 or above. Hey, there's one that we can agree on. Good job. Like, why would you not want to learn to cook for yourself? Why would you not want to have somebody backtalk during the disagreement just in case you're wrong? Just in case. I know it's a crazy idea that could ever happen, but sometimes it's good to take another point of view on board. I'm just saying. A good relationship with her dad. I guess that one's important too. No smoking or vaping. Oh, what a square. We'll wear sensible clothes. No flares/leggings. Dude, what the hell are flares? This dude knows more about fashion than I do. What are you talking about? Doesn't have celebrity crushes, i.e. Jason Love, Chris Brown, and Drake. Dude, Chris Brown beats on women. Drake is around here chasing little kids. I don't know who Jason Love is, but like, yeah, any chick that was crushing on those people in particular, big red flag. However, I do think that a celebrity crush, it's relatively harmless. That's fine. You should be able to have one of your own, I believe. That's the strongest strategy to go with. We don't get mad, we get even. Will dress as they way I tell her. Yeah, remember the thing I said about no flares? Don't you fucking forget it. No tattoos. Will dye her hair/nails the color of my liking. Doesn't post on social media. Isn't career/degree focused. That's right. I need you to be completely dependent on me and also cook all my meals and also never talk to anybody outside of this house. Ever. I'm going to work now. I'm going to lock you inside. This is just the wildest way to go about your life, okay? You're partners. You decided to be together mutually, presumably. So just like have some fucking faith in each other. You know, our relationship's built on trust, and this guy, yeah, he's not willing to trust anybody. He'd probably been hurt before and doesn't want to get hurt again or something like that, but fuck it, get over it, man. That's how all of this works, you know? Scared, weird, insecure baby. You have to dress the way I want and do your hair and nails the way that I want. Like, why doesn't he just do it to himself? You know, you can dress yourself up in a little skirt or whatever you want to do, OP. He's learning some things about himself every day. That's great. I encourage it. Our next OP wants everybody to know that he's convinced that the world will never accept that men can be just as victimized as women. Or by women. I guess it's fine. We'll see his point shortly. Let me know if this is too heavy of a question. But personally, how do you decipher between a man who's claiming to be maltreated but's actually weaponizing male privilege, such as a woman's anger being more likely to be seen as maltreatment, while a man's anger is more likely to be seen as rational and righteous, in order to frame her as the abusive one and therefore isolate her from receiving support? Wild takes out here, honestly, dude. I don't know how to fix all that shit for you. I gotta be honest. They say I always question this when trying to apply the power and control and equality/equity wheels to know how men describe being maltreated and wonder if other men are more likely to believe men on the basics of being men. or if they also consider the nuances of socioeconomic power dynamics in the way that I do. That's right, only I'm thinking in 4 dimensions here. I'm the smartest person in the room. Did you consider that? Fuck you. Somebody replies that says, if someone tells you they're being maltreated, you should believe them. There you go. That's what's in my brain, and this person's saying it better than I could. So believe them unless you have specific knowledge of that person that makes you believe otherwise. This is the same standard that we grant women victim of abuse. The reciprocal standard really only makes sense. Oh, but no it doesn't, OP, and here's why. I'm gonna explain it to you in the fucking Reddit comments. I can't stand the person that made this post already. Somebody else replies and says, men are less likely to report abuse as they bear a greater social penalty under the patriarchy for allowing themselves to be treated in that way. Honestly, I can sort of see that angle, yeah. Somebody swoops back in. Original commenter? I don't know. Same voice, though. That's literally not true whatsoever. Male vulnerability is sympathized with more rather than less. Yeah, tell me you've never had the male experience without telling me. Nobody gives a fuck if you're a dude. Let me be very clear about that. All right? This happens especially in institutional and public settings. Yeah, I cry in the middle of the park and I cry to my boss and everybody comes up and rubs my shoulders and says, what's wrong, big guy? How can I make this better for you? No, people ignore a crying man. If you see a crying woman immediately, everybody's like, oh no, what happened? Oh no. A crying dude is like, yeah, fuck, get away from that guy. He doesn't have anything to offer me, therefore he's useless to me. Welcome to being a man. Their vulnerability is more likely to be seen as rational and reliable, while female vulnerability is seen as manipulative and unstable. I don't agree with any of this shit. For example, women are less likely to be granted custody of their kids if they admit to being maltreated by the father, but the fathers are more likely to be granted custody by doing the same. I don't think I believe any of that shit for like even a minute, okay? You're gonna need to show me some stats or something. I want to see the numbers, and then I'll be like, huh. That's interesting. I'll have to find a way to rationalize that to myself. But since you didn't offer any numbers, that's fine. I can just say, I don't believe you. I don't believe any of that shit. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about family court stuff very often. I suppose this is one small mercy I've been granted in my infinite male privilege. The narrative of unstable women has much worse consequences than the narrative of vulnerable man. Well, I mean, unstable versus vulnerable, you're comparing apples and oranges again. I don't know if you really understand the things that are coming out of your mouth. Like, why not do a one-for-one comparison? Do you feel worse for a vulnerable woman or for a vulnerable man? Everybody, duh. It's a fucking easy answer, isn't it? And if you deny the answer to that question, I mean, you're just in denial of reality, essentially. This person says, it's nowhere as pervasive as the other way around. I recall a stat of 90% of all violence is by men. Oh, domestic violence. I'm sure these women do exist since plenty of people across gender and race can be trash. But part of me's always cautious from experience, just like men project, like to claim women make fake allegations. Men cry fake maltreatment when it comes to their victims of domestic violence trying to self-defend. It's really interesting to me that you just be like, yeah, people across every race and gender can definitely be trash, but I want to focus on this one gender specifically. Okay, well, sure. I guess you could, but you're not doing a great job. I want you to know that. A bunch of times the crazy women were the DV victims. Many wife maltreaters love to claim that she was the crazy one. TLDR, if her wounds far exceed his, I'm not buying it. Wife's going around with broken bones and a black eye the size of a crater, but poor guy got a scratch from the crazy bitch trying to get his hands off her neck. I speak from experiences in my own family. Well, that does explain a lot about you, I guess. I'm sorry that happened to you, but also, the pieces are all falling into place. That's why you have a poor view of absolutely every relationship ever. But the answer in a situation like that is not to point the finger at everybody else. You got to do some work on yourself and make sure that you don't pass that trauma along. Or I don't know, just post on Reddit about it and make the trauma your whole personality. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want, really. But I know what I do. Somebody else responds again and says, yeah, exactly. I try to apply the power and control and equality/equity wheels to these situations. I don't know anything about these fucking wheels. What are y'all talking about? Like, is this something I could consider? Or will it only make my worldview even worse? Probably the latter. These things are only invented to fucking separate and make you overthink. Don't fall for it. Your response is absolutely warranted. We get questions on this sub daily that are along the lines of, why don't more women recognize that women can be maltreated too? When we absolutely do recognize that, but we prefer to look at it with a critical lens because of the history of how women have been treated. It used to be considered abusive by the majority of people for women not to do it with their husbands whenever they wanted it, so it makes sense to still look at accusations critically. Edit, the person blocked me, so I'm adding this. I love that. I don't want to continue this conversation with you. We're done here now. Love a good fucking block. High five! Anyway, individuals don't exist within a vacuum. History impacts present-day biases, actions, and attitude. It is not wrong to look for signs like whether or not male privilege and systemic misogyny is being weaponized. That's right. Look for the signs really hard. Eventually, I'll find a microaggression and I'll hold it up like it's the fucking Rosetta Stone. Eureka! We've done it! Or alternatively, you could just take things as they come and, you know, fucking live your life without dissecting it to this degree, but that would leave you with less microaggressions to complain about, I guess. Why did I not succeed? Surely it's not because I didn't apply myself at all. It must be systemic biases. I'm sure it happens on some level, but it's overblown. It's a convenient excuse is what it is. Anyway, by critical lens, I'm not saying that they need to be instantly doubted, but it's imperative to acknowledge our biases, especially the socioeconomic oppression of women, rather than having a knee-jerk reaction to thinking that we know who the maltreater and the maltreated is. I mean, this kind of grandma couldn't have a bank account on her own. Like, that's how far away we are from, like, that sort of literal oppression, but we've come so far since then. Like, what else could you possibly want, honestly? By critical lens, I know exactly what you meant. Like I said, you want to focus on this gender specifically for reasons, I guess, having to deal with the family situation you grew up in, if this is even the same person. Like, all the anonymous redacted shit's the same color, so yeah, it's super hard to follow all this garbage. And I would never venture into this subreddit myself. It doesn't seem like a place meant for me. People aren't uncomfortable with the concept of women as maltreaters, or else they wouldn't have systems set up to greatly punish women who simply step out of line. Oh, do they? And those systems are only for women, you say? Gosh, that sounds terrible. I don't think we even live on the same planet, you and me. What is the system? Do you care to elaborate on that at all? Or it's just like, believe me, okay? Systems exist because I pointed to them. Okay, except you didn't actually point to anything. You just fucking kind of waved your hand in a general direction. This is the dumbest thing ever. The great debate about who has it worse in relationships. Whatever, anyway. They say the default's to assume that women are maltreaters unless proven otherwise. I don't fucking think that's true at all either. Yeah, it happens on both sides, but I personally do presume that it comes more from the, you know, the big brutes rather than the tiny sadistic ones. But it can go both ways. I'll admit that. I'll be clear on that. Don't want to cause any sort of microaggressions here. Why else would victim blaming be so prominent? It's because people already hate women. Yeah, they're just demonized everywhere they go, women, huh? Nobody wants to interact or be around them. I mean, I guess as long as they're attractive to some degree. The more I sit here and unpack it, the more that I realize that probably ugly women have it worse than dudes. You know, because you get like the worst sides of both coin or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? That is unfortunate. Although I don't think, who hates women? I'll fucking rip on them and stuff, but that's mostly because I respect you as an equal. I thought that you were able to take it, you know? They don't even have to actually maltreat anybody in order to be assumed to be in the wrong. Yeah, chicks are just always wrong, dude, because my dad told me that one time, dude. Like, what? I don't know where a lot of this is coming from. Like, clearly we are in separate realities, you know? I think that you have spent too much time on the internet and perhaps poisoned yourself with these worldviews. I don't know what website you're going to, but the things they're telling you are sabotaging your personal, like, IRL life. How about instead of spending time fucking ruminating over who maltreats who more, we concentrate on, like, you know, stacking that paper. Go and getting a job at the gas station or some shit like that, you know? Like, it's an option. I think there's much better uses of your time, but we all make choices. People already know that men can be victims too. If a maltreating woman came on this sub describing her behaviors, thinking it's okay, she'd get called out immediately for being a maltreater. Again, you're so fucking lost in the sauce. Like, I call out both men and women, and let me assure you that the backlash when I go after women is much stronger. Much stronger! People are always ready to hate on a dude, but for a woman, they're like, let's give him a free pass. So essentially, we're just on opposite ends of the spectrum. I believe, like, the inverse thing of what you believe, and we'll never see eye to eye on this. And I accept that. You're as entitled to be as wrong and dumb as you want to be. Person says, also, I said he wore it as a badge of honor, not just a pin to raise awareness. There's a difference. Yeah, what's the color of the domestic abuse ribbon? Red would be a bad choice. I think AIDS got red. You can't do pink, that's breast cancer. Black and blue seems pretty tasteless. This whole post is so stupid. Two Redditors fucking face rolling their keyboards like, I'm the smart one. I'm right about this. Sure, whatever you say, just please fucking stop talking to me. So men may be less likely to outright call it maltreatment, but will instead call them crazy or psycho or manipulative, which at its core is a socially acceptable accusation of maltreatment. Women are constantly being called psychotic and manipulative for simply existing as whole, complex human beings. Yeah, and also doing psychotic and manipulative things. If you're not doing those things, then probably you don't need to worry about it. I could be wrong on my takes for the entire post. I guess I should run it through the Gubbinses and see how they feel about the whole thing, so... Fine, we'll give it a deeper exploration, I guess. What the hell are they even talking about, Gubbins?
They are vomiting word soup. Socioeconomic power dynamics? Is that a type of fart? They are fighting over who is allowed to have an owie. Their brains are so swollen with big, heavy words they cannot feel the poke. They use critical lens to look at their own navel fluff. Boring. Gubbins.
Boring to say the least, stuck up their own ass to say the most. I'm glad we have the same read on it. They learned socioeconomic power dynamics. They're like, I'm gonna slide that one into conversation. Everybody's gonna agree with me because I sound like a big brain boy. You're saying fucking nothing, essentially. Go ahead, Dark One, how do you feel?
They are trying to bureaucratize pain. Witnesses. They argue over social penalties and narratives like they are filing tax returns for their bruises. They have taken the visceral act of violence and turned it into a dull grey flowchart. It is a sterile yet academic way to say they hate each other. They suck the marrow out of suffering and leave only dry, dusty theory. Dark Gubbins.
Yeah, leave some marrow of suffering for me. Personally, I like Gubbins' take. It was a little more, down to earth and whatnot, but you're right on the money, Dark Gubbins. Don't worry about that one. We're gonna go ahead, get into another post, because this one has made me just so exhausted. These people are so exhausting to be around. How do you fucking exist like this? I guess I don't have to worry about it. So goodbye forever. Goodbye. Here's one from a legitimately strange and entitled dude. My actual argument. If you allow a man to pay for your dinner, you've just entered a non-explicit, non-verbal contract to repay that dinner with some banging. Yeah, I don't think any of that's gonna happen. It's a non-verbal contract. You will not be seeing anything explicit. Thank you for the dinner is about all you are owed. You're supposed to do it like out of the kindness of your heart. And if you ain't got the cash to splash, well, maybe focus on other things besides dating. That job at the gas station that I was talking about. I used to work at a gas station a while ago. It was a good job. I don't care about this anymore. Next post. Our next poster just wants to say, as a dude who lost 50 pounds just to be more attractive, it's awesome being objectified. Yeah. In your dreams. I don't think you've ever been actually objectified, because probably you wouldn't like it as much, you see. I'm pretty sure it's posted just as like a Reddit humble brag, power fantasy, stupid shit like we always pull apart. We did that yesterday, it felt really good, but I'll do it again today. But you, sir, are the sole reason that nobody takes the sexualization of men seriously. When I had a tongue shoved in my mouth at the Ren Fair, did anybody feel bad for me, or did they just say, wow, you must be gay if you didn't like it? When I got my schmeat grabbed by a Japanese lady of the night in Roppongi, did anybody have anything to say about it? Nope. We just laughed it off and moved along. But really, I think both of those events changed me irreparably on some level. It's just that as a dude, you're not really allowed or supposed to talk about it out loud. It's just like, yeah, fucking shrug, deal with it, move on. It's gonna be fine. And yeah, I guess it did turn out fine for the most part. But this guy's lying. I'll say that. Congratulations on losing the 50 pounds. Even if it did come from, inside of your stupid water head. Let's move on to another post. Oh, next up we got a video. Somebody who wants to tell us about the origins of homosexuality. And obviously he really believes what he's saying because he's decided to cover his face for the thing. So, nice. Let's watch, shall we?
Emil Paglia has this idea that men become homosexuals because of a discomfort with aggression and horseplay as kids. This is born out of being too close with their mother and idolizing the feminine, and then basically either over-worshipping the feminine or becoming too familiar with it and as a result becoming indifferent. However, another guy named Haro MJ takes it even further. He posits the idea that men now become gay because they see through the absurdity of modern life. Back in the day, in order to prove their masculinity,
well, so we've just done away with like born this way. Like now it's just like, oh, well, fucking modern life is absurd, so I guess I have to be gay now. Either that or you horseplayed not enough as a kid. You gotta go and horseplay with the other boys so you don't turn out gay. This guy knows what he's talking about. I'm believing every word of this.
Men would literally conquer physical territory. It was about conquering the world and dominating others in the process. But now, in the year 2023, there's nothing left to conquer. Because he's smarter than everyone else and sees through the nonsense, this young man that we're talking about once again distances himself from masculinity because of its absurdity and again begins to eroticize it as a result. Now, who knows if any of this has...
Bro, you gonna sit here with like a bunch of fucking Orbit gum pasted to your face and this like silk shirt with artistic patterns just so, and you gonna tell me about fucking my masculinity? Yeah, okay, sure, buddy.
Has any merit to it. However, it does touch on something we all instinctively feel and think, that the recent rise in LGBTQ relationships likely has something to do with how fucked up and hollow the modern world really is.
Oh yeah. That's why it happened, everybody, because the world's just fucked up and hollow. Follow me for more motivational content from some guy with Orbit's gum pasted to his face. You fucking ridiculous. I want you to know how ridiculous you look and sound. You want to know the reason people are gay? Because I'll spell it all out for you right now. The reason people are gay is they like dick. You can like whatever you want. It's ridiculous to try and sit here and fucking philosophize about like why it happened. Let's blame the modern world. There's no territory left to conquer, or wars less to fight, so we have to do each other in the butt now. You're so ridiculous. Like, I can't even paint to you how ridiculous you are. Like, everything said in the video is just fucking absurd. I'm not gonna watch it again, because I feel dumber for having listened to it even the one time. Instead, I throw my hands up, I back out of the room slowly. I hope to never see the gum face man. I guess, what do you call him? What the hell is on his head? Obviously, he doesn't believe a thing that he's saying because of the gum face, right? We couldn't make like a digital avatar or anything like that. Just glue Orbit's gum to mommy's pantyhose and throw it over my head. Your argument's ridiculous, your content's ridiculous. Anybody who's following or believing this in any way has been severely misled, and that's your fault! You did that! You! But whatever. I guess we let the disinformation continue on for whatever reason. I can't fight it any harder than I have, so we'll move into another post. Next up, Peter wants to tell us how males operate. Somebody comes in the thread and says, WTF? Of course men and women could be just friends forever. And then dude comes in and says, actually, at some point, man will fall in love with her female friend. That's how males operate. Yeah. You don't confuse him and her unless English is not your first language, okay? I don't know what country you're from, but here in the West, we generally don't do that. We generally can have good relations with a woman or a male, despite them being the opposite gender of us. Unless you're like, you know, some sort of weirdo psychopath, which I wouldn't put it past this guy, I guess. He's on the edge, that's what I know. Anyway, keep it pushing. Everybody's in this thread saying, bro, who hurt you? Yeah, I'm sorry. Is this not secretly the way that all men are, married or not? There's no context for this, so I can't disagree with you quite yet. Hetero relationships summed up. Men want to do it, and they call it their needs, and they find a woman they can tolerate to meet their needs. The end. Wow, tolerate? Dude, who fucking is willing to tolerate this guy? Just from the way you talk about other human beings, like, that is fascinating. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Fucking lay your whole cards on the table. This is marriage between a man and a woman when you really break it down. Men don't enjoy spending time with their wives. Are you sure about that? They try to escape to hang with their boys or whatever they want to do. Yeah, the straightest thing you could do, fellas, is not hanging out with your wife. Go hang out with the boys. I don't know, man. Seems like a weird way to go to me, but you can live your life however you'd like, and it's clearly he prefers to live it alone. Or maybe he doesn't prefer that, but that's definitely how it's gonna go for a long time. Men don't get married to women because they genuinely want to spend the rest of their lives with them. They get married to get their needs met on a consistent basis. And the moment that stops, he's 100% out there looking for someone else who is willing to meet his needs. I like how you say the whole thing in the third person, like we're just generalizing all men, when really this is how you feel deep down. These are the things that you do, and you basically just let us all know what a disgusting person you are. So, I don't have much more to say. He speaks for himself. I will, however, let the Gubbinses tear a piece off. So go ahead, boys. Get at him!
Witnesses. This is not a theory. It is a confession of unlovability. She reduces humanity to biological robots to soothe the sting of her own rejection. She lives in a cold, grey cell of her own making, convinced the key doesn't exist. Dark gubbins.
Pretty dark. I think it's strange to assume that it's a woman that's speaking these words, but if that's your impression, that's your impression. How do you feel about it, Gubbins?
This one tastes like old vinegar. She thinks love is just a transaction for fluid exchange because nobody wants to exchange fluids with her. Her heart is a dried up prune that hates the sun. Gubbins.
Ah, short and sweet. Yeah, again, presuming that she's a woman. Do you come from a backwater shithole? Is English not your first language? She goes, I know that's been known to happen from time to time. I'll forgive you, Gubbinses. It's okay. I think Gubbins takes the trophy today, maybe. But yeah, good posts, one and all. I probably got a little off the rails, but fuck it, you know? That's what we're doing now. I appreciate you hanging out. Sign up on the Patreon and YouTube memberships. Fourth wall for the merch. Podcast services, Spotify, iTunes, yeah, we're out there. Deezer, Castbox, I don't know. Just a bunch of services I never heard of, but we got our stuff on there, so hopefully you'll enjoy. We've also got a Steam game coming out called Waifu Pilled, and then, what's the last thing? Oh yeah, Amazon affiliate link. Oh, and the last thing is that I hope you will remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
何バカ何バカ何バカ